hit the music.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
Yep. You know, it's a good thing we weren't in a hurry because we couldn't start without him. Yeah.
Walking merchandise. You're walking promotion.
It's SpawnCon.
You have a walking promotion. You have Ticketmaster.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grappling with the Gilmans. I'm Josh.
I'm Josh.
I'm Josh.
Everyone's Josh today.
Yeah.
And we are back in our new home at the Romans
we live here.
studio here in beautiful Fishtown to talk about the week in pro wrestling. With us again is John.
Hi, John. Say hi,
Couldn't better late than never. Could not start without him, of course.
Hello, Godwin.
Now, right off the bat, let's not waste any time. I know you two have a shout out. You've been waiting for a while on this, so let's get right to it. I'll give it here. I'll use mine. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead. Hold it. You here? Give me this. You hold it.
A special thanks to the people at Masked Republic and Kevin Garcia for sending us a free book of Dragon Lee and the Monster of Salty Springs, or Salty River. Ooh, sorry, edit that out. Great book. It has some of your favorite wrestlers: Jalisco, Roosh, Dragon Lee. It's also bilingual, so for an old man who's trying to learn Spanish here, this is a great start.
Really grinding out that Duolingo, you can tell.
You can definitely.
So
tell.
yeah,
This will be on Amazon and wherever books are sold.
big shout out to those guys.
Shout out.
They reached out and offered to send the book, which was addressed to Los Hermanos Gilman.
Oh,
Except they spelled Gilman wrong.
That's
it's
okay.
One L,
People spell it to us.
Uh-huh.
So that was very cool. So
Yes.
thank you very much for that.
Matt-
you earned
Matt-
that plug.
yeah.
We are happy to give it.
Masked Republic.
Anything else? You know, again, the world waits for your hot
You can
takes.
talk about Backlash.
That's on my list. But anything you wanted to address before I get
Okay,
to
wait,
the
wait.
list of topics?
We're gonna do a rest in peace.
Oh my god, it's fun.
It already happened.
already.
What?
We
Yes.
are less than 3 minutes.
I was going to
into the
say,
show.
was
We're
it
gonna
2
do a
minutes?
rest in
Over
peace.
under was 2 minutes. If you bet the over, you're a winner.
We're
Yeah.
gonna do a rest in peace. We're gonna do a
No,
little,
I'm going to
we're
get to that
gonna do
too.
a
I'm going to get to that too. But anything else you want to address that's not, before we get to my list of topics?
Your.
No?
No. Oh, no. Wait, never
No.
mind.
Okay. Well, then, right off the bat, now I have to get serious again on the show, which we don't like to do, but I have to acknowledge and pay my respects to to Sabu, who the news came out on Sunday that he had passed away. I had, the wrestling world certainly had, did not lack for
Crazy people.
wild brawlers. As but with Bruiser Brody and Abdul the Butcher and Cactus Jack, but I just remembered, when he came out on that ECW television with Paulie and 911 wheeling him out looking like Hannibal Lecter, and I was just like, what is this? And that man, I had never seen anybody throw their body around like this. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, nobody did this. I mean, stuff that is sort of, I don't want to say it's routine because it's still so insanely dangerous, but nobody was doing things like this. Nobody was like jumping off a chair and diving out of the ring like he did. I was the first time I was ever in the ECW arena. Was for the night the line was crossed, and the main event that night was a 60-minute draw for the ECW title with Shane Douglas, Terry Funk, and Sabu. And that thing ended. I've never seen anything like it since. It was the closest thing to like an encore at a concert. Sabu was the last one in the ring, and I think one of my friends that I was with at the time, who was not totally familiar with ECW, I was like, is this over? I'm like, no, just wait. Because the crowd starts chanting, table, table.
Oh.
And he goes out, he gets the table, he sets it up in the ring, he goes to the top rope and moonsaults himself through the table to just the utter delight of the ECW arena.
Roman.
He
just showed me a photo of a fat dude with a...
Oh, I've seen that.
Who the
Wait,
hell
let me
is
finish
that?
about Sabu.
Yo, Calm down over there. We're in the middle of a eulogy
John's
here.
doing a
Yeah,
run
we're
in.
gonna do a moment of
I'm
silence.
he's doing a run in while I'm talking about Sabu.
Is that Bobby the Brain Heenan? I'm sorry.
He's got to be considered one of the more unique performers of all time.
It was Ric Flair.
He really does. I mean, I heard, Meltzer obviously did a show, and he said before Terry Funk passed, he would talk to Terry Funk, and Terry apparently just thought the world of Sabu and thought he should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know, but I know this. If I can steal Brian Alvarez's gimmick, he has the Hall of Awesome. Sabu is in the Hall of Awesome because he was.
Hall of good wrestlers.
Again, one of the more unique and really influential performers of all time. So, you can absolutely make a case for him, but I want to give him his respect because he deserves it. I mean, he was unlike anything I'd ever seen.
Oh,
so
man.
I wanted to at least give him
words
that
to say
respect.
about Sabu? You met
the man.
Gonna miss that guy. I love that guy.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome.
Wait, we're gonna do a 10 minute. We're gonna do a moment of silence.
No, we're not going to do a moment of silence. It's a podcast.
No, man.
We're
Now
gonna do some dead air.
we have some other topics.
Moment of dead air.
Yeah.
We did not watch Backlash.
Oh, God.
Because
Who
quite
wants to?
frankly, who
That
gave
was-
a damn?
But I did see two things related to Backlash that I would like to mention.
Pat McAfee and two old men fighting?
First of all,
And Logan Paul?
I am-
Mm, delicious.
I am glad and relieved that Drew McIntyre did not meet the same fate as Sabu.
Oh damn.
Because if
Yeah,
you didn't
he-
see this,
Oh, my
that thing where Priest choke slammed him off of some high
Well, I have three things.
platform type thing, and Drew's head just smashed against the floor. Oh my God! I don't know how he got up. That was terrifying. Did you have something?
Yes.
Go.
Jeff Cobb,
Yeah, we got Jeff Cobb.
welcome to the island of relevancy. Finally.
relevancy?
No, relevancy.
Oh, okay, good enough.
Well, for now, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's there.
Also, the face turn of Jacob Fatu
Into the microphone.
is gonna happen, and I can't wait to see an unhinged babyface Jacob Fatu promo.
Oh, well plus,
God damn it, Archer!
Well,
you just didn't know how to keep
wait.
your mouth shut.
I will say this. I would, as much as I am, as everybody knows, not the biggest fan of that promotion, a Jeff Cobb versus Jacob Fatu match, that works just fine for me.
Yeah.
But they actually kept the name Jeff Cobb, which is
Well, that's his name.
yeah,
And it's his name.
yeah,
His last name's Cobb with two B's.
yeah,
It is.
yeah. No, it's a real thing. Yeah, people have the name
Yeah.
Jeff Cobb.
Now,
Bob Cobb, the maestro.
the other thing,
You guys never watched Seinfeld before?
No.
no, they have not.
The maestro,
I'm more of
Bob
an
Cobb?
Office fan.
No,
Not that old.
he is a huge fan of like early 2000 sitcoms,
I like The Office.
but it doesn't go to the 90s.
I won Office trivia
Office.
trivia at a
I
bar.
love The Office
won
too.
Parks
but
and
I don't-
Recreation.
We won
Recreation.
Office trivia.
I carried.
That's not true.
They did.
I love all those, but you guys never watched
what was
Seinfeld?
the-
That's
I'm
crazy.
missing.
That was
Because
no.
I'm not 35.
Into the microphone.
I'm not at 35
I
with
was
a midlife crisis.
when the
and
show
that-
ended. I was 3.
Old.
Yeah.
So think about that.
So
Yeah,
wait,
27?
let's not
Aren't you 35?
let's not digress too much
God, looks 30.
Yeah.
You
into
kinda
your
look
love
35.
of early 21st century sitcoms,
You kind
True.
of look 35.
because you also had something that I don't know if it was intended to be funny or not, but you had this post show.
During the match, R-Truth
He did.
made the save for John Cena.
He did.
And even though Jimmy Uso told him not to do it, he just didn't listen. Is little Jimmy like telling him to do crazy things? Like, God damn it.
Well,
I don't want Randy as champion. I don't want Big Match John as champion.
no.
I would rather just strap the belt to a young guy who should have been in the WWE a long time ago, and that's MJF. But that's a different.
Oh my
Oh, I
God.
thought you were describing me for a second.
Okay. Can
or
we?
No, or just give the or just make a or we could just had a
Me?
Cody win.
He's working out over there.
God damn.
Unbelievable.
Oh man, get it out of the way. Get it out of the way. Oh,
Are we
man.
interrupting your exercise time?
He's like, all right, that's enough for me. Time to go to sleep.
How
Yeah,
many was that?
like,
Was
no,
that 5?
It was 3.
Oh my God!
Ooh.
This, again, you
Ooh,
really
big
never know
strong
what's
man.
going to happen on
Yeah,
the
Oh
show.
no, he got 4. He got 4.
All right.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Workout time with John,
9.
everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Hey,
got
that's
9.
it.
He's calling it
It's
nine.
like
Now.
a hit.
9. Ooh.
Can I talk about this thing that happened after Backlash?
Yes.
Great work.
Okay. So you had this, I guess we'll call it an incident
Is that what you
at
think it
the
is?
media scrum
Oh,
where
man.
Cena, well, first Levesque is talking. He brings out Cena. Cena then sits down. He offers sort of this apology to the members of the wrestling media that are there for not being nice to them or answering their questions. And then before he says he will take questions, but then out comes Killings, who proceeds to start talking about how he is so proud of Cena for retaining his belt.
Who's killing?
R-Truth.
What is he killing?
His,
Ron
his name is
Killings.
Ron
Ron
Killings.
Killings.
Ugh.
Jinx.
Jinx.
He was
Knock
Ron
on me.
Killings in TNA
Right. Now,
and in 3PW.
now, Cena gives some kind of warning for him to stop, but then Killing says something about how
He can't wrestle.
you're still he's still John is still his hero, even though people says he sucks and cannot wrestle. Then Cena, this was I saw this video and I thought this was going to be some sort of like violent attack by Cena on Killings. No. He
think John Cena knows how to be
just
violent.
picked him up on his shoulders as if he were a child and attitude adjusted him through a table.
And the
I
crowd
don't-
went
was this-
mild.
Well, all right, let me just ask you a
In their
question.
defense, there was no crowd. It
There
was
was
a
no
media
crowd.
scrum.
I mean,
There
wait,
was no gas.
I'm
It was
gonna,
like, oh my god. It was
I'm
like
gonna
Wow.
They don't have microphones.
I'm gonna ask a
yeah, but they
question.
could still like hear screams. Like if I screamed it out the mic on.
Screams! What do you want them to do? Like, ah!
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes,
Really?
exactly.
Like, ah.
Why were they screaming? There was almost no violence to this.
Exactly.
So here's my
the crowd
question,
went
and
mild.
I
And
mean
why is
it-
there a lighter on your desk? Are you smoking?
I mean this sincerely. I mean this
God.
sincerely. Stop. I'm going to ask a question, and I'm not joking around when I ask this. Was this supposed to be comedy?
no.
No.
I don't think so, but unfortunately,
He got beat up by his hero. Like,
Because if it wasn't, this was like the lamest thing you ever saw.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't punch him.
Can you make him bleed?
All he did was like, and
Okay.
Killings
Just
didn't struggle.
Just took it like a man.
I mean, this was ridiculous. I mean, I actually thought that maybe this was meant to be funny
Okay, John,
because
let me just
Killing's
let you
character
finish
is
that
so
thing.
unserious.
yeah, John, I'm gonna put you through the table. Oh,
But,
wait,
like-
wait.
I just
Event, the 25th of May, Cena versus Killings. Did you see that?
is
that is
that
not real.
Me?
is that confirmed?
what at the next one?
Where have you seen
wait a
that?
Main event.
At Saturday night's main
Oh,
event,
it's Saturday night's main event.
that is not true.
Okay.
Wait, do you see this on Instagram
No,
or
so I-
Facebook?
oh, is that-
We saw it on Facebook.
Okay,
Oh,
so they're
God.
gonna.
The same page that said that Roman Reigns was on death's door and LA Knight left the WWE.
Wait,
What
what is? Wait a minute.
research?
So is this
What-
for real?
No.
It's not.
research
I mean, they're gonna do a match at some
What
point.
That's gonna mess with Wrestle.
They're
main
going
event,
to do a
WrestleMania,
match, but
what's it
like
called?
this was just like the lamest thing you ever saw. Like, oh god. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be fair and say maybe this was meant to be funny with Cena's like fake contrition and this like the least violent attack you've ever seen. But I don't know. Yeah.
John Moxley
Now,
would be ashamed.
I was gonna say this week in with what we all watched was really kind of interesting
Very bland.
because especially on AEW, which we're gonna get to in a minute, you had a lot of really good stuff, but in looking back on it, you had a number of contenders for a Geek of the Week, including John Cena and Ron Killings, but they did not win.
Well,
But they are one of a number of honorable mentions. So with that said, let me get to my notes. Let's talk about the week in AEW television, because this week we watched all of it. So there's a lot to talk about.
all of it.
Let's start with
my.
Dynamite. Oh wait, no, I have one more thing.
Oh God.
Because I guess it's become a weekly segment now because we're talking about this for the third week in a row. Let's update everybody on what's going on with Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff.
Oh Jesus.
I don't know who.
I have no
Eric-
clue either. What did he say?
Eric was
do,
on,
or-
I believe it was yesterday, with Ariel Helwani.
Who?
He's I've told you this before. He does a very popular podcast about wrestling and MMA.
Oh, so he's our competition.
And guess what they don't have yet, everybody?
Talent.
No, well,
a
no.
GM.
No, well,
booker.
they have a commissioner.
A booker.
Ring. Oh, no, they didn't.
A TV deal.
Of course not.
So they announced this thing with an idea that they're going to launch in August, and he admitted they don't have a TV deal.
Shocker.
Yeah. So, all right. I'll throw this out to everybody. We'll do it right now. We'll come back to this in September. Does this thing ever actually make television?
Yes.
Sam votes yes.
Wait, I'm guessing. My prediction. Sam Gilmans' prediction.
I mean,
will be it'll either go straight to a streaming service like
That's what-
Triller.
It's going to be Triller or something adjacent to that. It's not. It will not be on actual TV.
right. All right. Let me fix.
So like kind of the big one.
Yeah. Will it be on like? Yeah. I'm talking about like something that's on YouTube TV or Paramount Plus
No.
or even DAZN, which does all that boxing and.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're voting no,
No.
Maxie?
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
Do they
live
get
television?
any sort of like major streaming
It's
deal
gonna
with
be
like
like a
somebody
net-
that we've heard of?
I know it's gonna go to Triller.
actually went to work with the racist and the old guy. Like,
Which one's which?
actually, yeah.
Well,
Who wants to work
they're
with-
the same person.
who wants to
Yeah, I
work
was
with
gonna
the racist old man.
Nah, I don't know the Bischoff's that.
And what's his face? The nobody.
And the nobody that half the population that
The
most
jobber.
people have never heard of.
Unless you're like really into like professional wrestling.
Nobody cared about that.
No one knows
Hell
who
no.
Martinez is. What's his face?
Yeah.
Nobody care about that.
All right.
Ain't nobody care about that.
Roman?
Like you guys said, I think here's the thing. At the end of the day, like you can always just. I mean, in theory, they could be on IWTV. I don't
Yes.
see Hulk Hogan doing that, but you could have pretty much any promotion on IWTV. So by default, I think yes, but I would venture to say it'll be a Triller or something of that nature.
Yeah, I'm inclined to like.
It's not going to be
there's
actual television.
There is, with all of these streaming services, there is such a need for programming that they'll be. I have to believe. I can't believe I'm even going to go along with this, given who's involved. But I agree with them. They're going to be on something somewhere. But is it going to be anything near what WWE on Netflix or AEW on Max or anything like that? No,
I mean,
it is not.
It's not even going to be on Tubi. Tubi used to be the joke of the streaming
Right.
networks, and now they have the Super Bowl last year,
Right.
and now they have WWE programming. So
Yeah, I mean, even
So now
maybe
the joke of screaming is
if
Triller.
they're real again, maybe DAZN.
yeah, that I could say.
That
I
would
could say.
probably be like the ceiling
Yeah.
BET.
because
That's not
not
a
streaming
service.
service.
That's a
That's a
television
channel. and they're not going to be on a channel that we've heard of.
And they're definitely not going to be on BET
Right.
with Hulk Hogan.
BET's going to put on Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
What?
BET's gonna.
It took me a minute to realize how crazy that was.
BET again?
What is BET? Black Entertainment
Yes.
Television.
They're not going to have Hogan.
They are not putting on Hulk
You think
Hogan.
they're gonna put on the racists?
Oh my God.
No, I bet they're big.
That's a
fans.
good one.
I bet they're big fans of Hulk
Ah,
Hogan.
That's
yes,
a good one.
definitely.
I mean, like, oh man, John, you're
I
a big
doubt
fan
it.
of Hulk Hogan.
No.
Thank
No?
you.
Oh.
No, I would. Yeah. No.
You're wearing an Undertaker hat.
What's
Is that who, Terry?
Yeah.
that's different from Terry.
What's the difference? We don't
You're
know what
not
he says
talking
behind
into
closed
the
doors.
microphone.
Yeah,
Wait,
the
here's
Undertaker
the question.
keeps.
Do you think the difference
wait,
between
hold
probably
on.
Hulk Hogan and Undertaker is
stop.
Hulk Hogan probably says it in public.
Let's not be unfair. Let's not
Mark
be unfair.
probably says it behind
No,
closed
no,
doors.
wait, stop. Let's not be unfair. There may be differences look. There may be differences, and I don't want to talk about things like this on this show. But you had to open that door.
Tie my shoe, please.
There may be differences of opinion between myself and Mark, but he has never done anything publicly or otherwise, publicly that remotely equates to what Becky called the scummiest person on earth.
I got 2 mics now.
Okay? But I guarantee wherever that thing goes, it is not going to be BET. Now,
Definitely
that's my
not.
actual prediction.
let's talk about Dynamite.
I got 2 mics now. Let's go.
All right.
back to me.
I know this is an odd place to start, sort of, but they did. They had a promo with the new.
No, they're talking about the new
duo.
intro.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
goddamn sucked.
Yeah, you had it.
It sucked ass.
What?
You didn't
That
like
new
it?
intro.
Come on, man.
Can you say that? I feel like
Please.
you shouldn't be able to say that.
What did I
Please.
say?
I don't want. Please.
We don't need to repeat
Just
it.
say you didn't like it.
No, because the music didn't fit.
You
But,
can't
like,
say
the
that.
pictures didn't fit.
Why are you not talking into the microphone?
I am talking.
It was over here.
Whoa, whoa.
It was over here.
The music didn't fit with the vibe of AEW. The
Not
intro
good.
didn't fit. Like the graphics didn't work.
You didn't like the graphics?
No, it like didn't fit with what the music was.
The music didn't fit with
Like
Alright.
Saturday Night's Alright for fighting. You have like when they hit like the Saturday Night's Alright.
Yeah,
for
no,
fighting,
that's
like a
great.
big move.
Yeah,
but like
was
that,
great.
it was just like
Alright.
it didn't fit. Like you had a suplex.
I did not
and
have-
it's like so out of place.
I did not
I
have a
didn't
real
like
any
it.
kind of real reaction to this one way or
It
another.
gets
Maybe
the
I'll
thumbs down.
I'll have to
it
watch-
gets 5 big dooms.
have to watch that
Wow.
again because who was it? Was it Sum 41 or I forget who it
Some
was.
41 is coming next week or the week after.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
for,
Which I don't know if that's really moving the needle, but
yeah.
Come
Well,
on, wear hat.
I mean, did you like it better than the one time they used "I'm so excited"?
No, I like that more.
that
Oh,
was
okay.
unbelievable.
Wait,
Oh
what
my
was
god.
it?
I'm so excited.
That when for the first show on HBO Max when they used "I'm so excited" by the Pointer Sisters,
Oh yeah.
That's
That was
and I
insane.
thought that's really strange, but they never did it again.
No, that's what they're gonna do next.
They're going back
Oh,
to the
I
Pointer
forgot.
Sisters.
Yeah, I'd like
I
that.
forgot it's on HBO. Ugh.
Yeah, it's still on it, which
Yeah,
is now
that's so
known
unforgettable.
just as Max.
That's
True.
Wait, I
unforgettable.
have
Alright.
a streaming service.
You do. It's named after you. Congratulations.
The worst streaming service we have.
They have AEW.
And it's the
And
worst
they have
one.
Peacemaker.
And The Sopranos.
And they have that other show that your Sam watches with your mother.
The Wire.
Hacks.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah. I don't watch
oh.
it, but
What's her face?
incredible.
I like
Sam
the, I
watches
like the
that
old
with
lady
Sam
actor.
watches
She's
that with
very
his mom. He
talented.
loves it. All right, let's get back to Dynamite.
Gene Smart.
Let's get back to
Oh, I
Dynamite.
like Gene Smart. I don't like that young lady.
So first, the new duo of Anna Jay and Harley Cameron seem to be
What, Tony's-
infringing on Tony Storm's turf,
But worse.
with promos about parts of their bodies. But
But Harley,
That's
do-
what they
but that led into
no, but like it's been on the nose because Penelope Ford said something about it on Collision. It's
oh
like
yeah, it's a thing.
it's not.
Be
it's-
very careful. By the way,
I'm gonna say this.
No.
How can I say this without being canceled?
don't. And again, you're not talking to
It's
the
Yeah.
it's what Tony Storm does, but worse.
It's different.
It's not different. What's
It's-
the difference?
It's
talking about two
it's
body
not-
parts
it's
instead
less,
of one.
It's less clever.
It's talking about 2 body parts
It's not.
instead of
Yeah,
one.
it's just right out there for everybody. No pun intended.
well, at
It's
least
not
like, the
clever.
gimmick is that she's some like early Hollywood insanity.
Correct.
No, but there's no draw with that.
Well, they're doing it.
What's the draw?
So
Tony's like a knight. She has a butler.
The new duo of Anna and Harley Cameron. Now Sam's had, so I was working time with Sam.
I
Cut
did
their
10.
promo, which led into a 4-way eliminator for the women's title with Tony, Penelope,
10.
Anna, and Thunder Rosa. The people seem to really like Thunder Rosa and Tony as a tag team.
As Thunder can't
As
say that
Thunder
word.
Blank?
No, can't say that word. Can't say
Cannot.
that word.
We should probably see that more often because the people were really into that.
Can we like bleep
At
it
one
out?
point, Megan Bain interfered, starts beating everyone up. So Harley runs down with a lead pipe, and good for Harley, she beat Megan Bain back to the dressing room. So Harley actually got a chance to look good. So then maybe they have not given up on Harley Cameron. Tony ended up beating Penelope with the chicken wing. That's a new move for her, but this was good.
Yeah.
We had another
Not to stop.
segment with the Hurt Syndicate.
Oh my god.
MVP asked when
Hurt
somebody,
Syndicate?
some team is going to step
He
up
doesn't
to
even know who
challenge
the
them.
Hurt Syndicate is.
Name name one member of the Hurt Syndicate.
Lashley and
Yeah.
the other guy from WWE. I can't think of his name.
Benjamin Shelton. There you go. Or the
Benjamin Shelton.
Benjamin Shelton.
And
So,
Montel Montavious
MVP,
Porter.
MVP asked when some team was going to step up to challenge them, and for reasons I can't fathom, out comes Top Flight.
'Cause they think
Having
they can
delusions
beat
of grandeur, thinking that they are worthy, which they are not.
Sure, buddy.
And as proof of this,
Try better.
out comes Sam's hero,
Oh God.
who beats down both of them 1-on-2.
No, but like
He nearly kills Dante Martin with a powerbomb on the apron. He gets in the ring, grabs the mic, gets in Bob's face, says, "I hurt people." And Bob tells him that he'll have an answer for him next week. Now, there's going to be other honorable mentions, but for that beatdown, top flight of the Geeks of the
you
Week.
know MJF's gonna start
My God.
killing, you know MJF's gonna start killing people when he's not wearing a loud suit. When just
he
wears,
came
like,
out dressed to fight.
when he wears like the plain white
with his tank top.
and the
Yeah,
jeans.
he came out dressed
That's
to
when
fight
you know he's about to kill somebody.
with his tank top and his jeans, and beat down the Martin brothers 1-on-2. So again, there's going to be other contenders, but the Geeks of the Week are top flight. Oh my God, 1-on-2 they get.
They made
beat
him
up.
bleed.
Oh yeah, one of them I think did bleed.
I think it was
but yeah,
Darius.
but Dante, he that power bomb looked like no fun. Rhino showed up.
Gore.
That's the good news.
Oh, I did see this actually.
The bad news, if you like Rhino, is that Nick Wayne beat him in like 2 minutes.
Well, listen.
So I don't know what the point of this was.
I think
Other than to pop the crowd a little bit in Detroit to bring out Rhino.
Well, I think it's Detroit. It's Rhino.
Yeah.
It's pushing over the young
But one
guy.
would have thought that
everybody gets to do like the gore.
Yeah, one would have.
It's
Now
Detroit,
look,
it's
I
great.
understand he's not beating Nick Wayne, but one would have thought if they were going to bring him in, they would have done more than 2.5 minutes.
It was only 2.5
I know
minutes.
it's something that nobody actually cares about. It's perfect, you know?
I guess. But one last match before Nick headed to Japan for the best of the Super Juniors.
Well, he's gonna try and kill himself.
Yeah, well,
Hope.
that's
Who's actually in that?
Like it's all the young people from.
no,
New
it's all their junior heavyweights.
Yeah, it's all the young guys. It's all the young boys.
No, Kushida. I think Kushida's in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone know? Besides Kushida?
Roman, can you look that up? Who's in the best of the Super Juniors? Kushida, I think,
Well,
is
they're
in
juniors. That's in the name.
it.
When is Kushida gonna be back in AEW? Because he signed him.
No, he hasn't signed there.
Yes, he is.
It happened 2 days ago. Night 2 did.
Yeah.
Uh,
On Sundays?
Backlash.
No, with the wannabe wrestlers kind of trying to.
We have not seen that. With the thing with Bubba Ray and
Legends and Future Greats.
I have not.
Oh,
we have
LFG.
not seen that.
Oh, I'm
All
a
right.
big fan of
In the
Sexy
meantime,
DJ Ray.
Excuse me.
I love that guy. He's great. He lost, which
Hold on.
which sucked.
right.
The kid with the smart mouth, I'm glad he's going.
No, I
There's a
like
kid
that
with a
guy.
smart mouth.
I like that
Alright.
guy. And what's her face? The Ukrainian lady.
2025.
Big fan of
Okay,
Team
here we go.
Bubba.
Hiromu Takahashi.
Hiromu, yeah.
Kosei Fujita, Dragon Dia, Clark Connors, Ninja Mac, Robbie X, Francesco Akira, Master Wato,
Master Wato.
Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Kushida, El Desperado, Nick Wayne, Robbie Eagles, Mao, Ryusuke Taguchi,
Oh, Taguchi's still around. Okay.
Taiji Ishimori, Titan,
Titan.
Show, Kevin Knight, and Yo.
Oh, Kevin Knight's in that thing too.
Yes.
Oh, so you got some real people in that thing. Now that's going to be real. Look, that's going to be really good experience for him. Like he's going to be out there like every night against
Yohei Komatsu.
major,
Wait, he's going back at
Japanese talent. Okay.
it. No, you put your arms like in
You
the middle
had-
bar.
Oh, we're going. All right. People, you never know
You're
what's
the
going to
man
happen
behind
on
the
this show.
curtain.
You had a 6-man with the Young Bucks and Ricochet, their new friend,
Ricky O'Shea.
against Swerve, Mark Briscoe, and Speedball Mike Bailey, which was great. It was exactly what you'd expect, except for the ending. Where basically, after these guys are hitting, one big move after another on each other, as you'd expect, Matt Jackson pins Swerve clean with a cradle.
Sorry, Matt Jackson.
So I was not expecting that. This is what I live with. Every day.
Because Ace still told me to.
This is
pretty good.
This is
Sorry,
what I
Matt
get.
Jackson.
Now they're singing about the incident with Ace Steel and
feel like-
and
Do you know he's with TNA now, Ace Steel?
yeah, he's in the back.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
You had a Renee sit down with Jamie Hayter, who looked like she just stepped off the set of the Scooby-Doo movie.
Mercedes Monet was right about that. I'm just being honest
So
with
she's talking about her match with Mercedes.
Oh, what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
Did anyone see Ricochet's One Piece gear? Anyone? Or was that just me?
What was
you.
that?
That was just you.
Twice. This is like the second
That
time.
was just-
Well, your
I
brother's
see
the
it.
One Piece fan, so he would know that better than me.
I'm gonna be honest
Yes, he
with
was.
you.
He was wearing the white beard thing.
How do you know?
Well, we're
Don't
gonna
worry about it.
well-
it was the big coat.
we're gonna see him at
I didn't
beach
want
break.
you to
We're
show
gonna
me
see him
that.
at beach break, so we'll have to
And-
pay attention.
oh, God.
Well, I'm gonna get to that.
His opponent.
I'm going to get to that. So, Mercedes ends up attacking Jamie while she's doing the sit down with Renee. They brawl into the arena. Hayter chases Mercedes off. She runs to the back. She turns around to acknowledge the crowd. Mercedes runs back out while her back is turned, attacks her, and then puts her in the crossface. So Jamie Hayter, between the Scooby-Doo outfit and turning her back on her enemy, also a strong Geek of the Week contender
Also-
this week.
Unlike John Cena, Mercedes Moné knows how to put in the STF.
Oh, thank you for reminding me that you said that as we were watching this live, and you were 1,000% right. John Cena should watch tapes of Mercedes to learn how to do that move correctly. You are absolutely right. That was a good observation by you. You had a match where Okada beat Kevin Knight,
Who cares?
which I didn't love the idea of Kevin Knight losing again, but Rouge attacked him before the match. And it is
Rouge, you say?
It is featured in what's the title?
Dragon Lee and the Monster of the Salty River.
Yes, as featured in this book.
Almost as salty as Sam.
So he still had a competitive match with Okada, even though Rouge beat him down before the match even started. So I guess it's right. I like Kevin Knight. He shouldn't be losing too much at this stage.
Yeah.
Your main event of Dynamite was Joe versus Claudio. Joe ends up choking him out with a coquina
That
clutch.
chokehold's deadly.
But this was not the end. Oh, poor Claudio. Oh, brother.
Boy.
So the Death Riders, after the match, start heading towards the ring. Outruns Powerhouse Hobbs, who, as big and scary as he is, probably doesn't need any sort of weapon, but he had a chair. And then he proceeds to beat poor Claudio half to death with this chair. While Moxley and the crew are watching this go on because they don't want to get in the ring, Joe drops Claudio stomach first on the open end of the chair to get revenge for Shibata.
And Hook.
And Hook. So that is how Dynamite ended. This was good, but like Claudio took a whooping. Those chair shots look like no fun. Now, surprisingly, this week was also a really eventful episode of Collision. So now we're going to get to that thing you brought up. The opening of Collision. Yeah, I know.
Mama, did you see this?
Was Ricochet
No, we need to show some love for
defeat.
Ricochet.
Yeah, let's show you love for Ricochet defeating
Show
Angelico.
some love. It shows some love.
Show some.
Anyone trying to love
After
for
the
Ricochet?
match, and I haven't thought about this name in God only knows how many years. There at ringside is Zach Gowen.
Oh, I did see this.
Yeah.
Ricochet walks
Wow.
over. See, Ricochet's cutting a promo in the ring after the match. He sees Zach. Walks over, starts cutting the promo on Zach Gowen. At one point, he shoved him down. Then 3 security geeks run over to try and stop this. Ricochet lays out all 3 of them with the microphone by himself, throws one of them in the ring, takes out his scissors, and begins to cut this man's hair. Then, to the rescue, I'm using imaginary quote fingers on that, Zach Gowen jumps in the ring, gets the scissors. Ricochet then kicks Gowen in the side of his leg. His knee looked like it buckled. That looked like it was no fun too. Ricochet then pulls Zach's prosthetic off and leaves.
Damn.
And then we find out that this week at Beach Break, and in 2025, I know I've been using that expression a
In
lot
the Big
lately.
25.
We are going to get a match on Dynamite between Ricochet and Zach Gowen.
That's something.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
No.
Does anyone remember his infamous match against Brock Lesnar in the WWE?
Well, that ended.
I mean, I have really no pleasant memories of the, you would call it the ruthless aggression era, right, Roman?
Yes.
ruthless
Like,
aggression.
he was part of some bad television.
He surely was.
Was he also on the All In show?
So,
no, that was a different
this-
one-legged,
again,
zero-legged wrestler.
I just...
no, but there was another
I
wrestler
don't-
on the show that had
I mean,
zero legs.
I don't need to see Zach Gowen in a wrestling ring anywhere,
Think I know?
particularly on a big episode of
that's
Dynamite.
not-
Like,
You would
I'm stunned.
He's like French
True.
fries.
Like, if you'd have told me this a week ago, oh, by the way, Zach Gowen's going to be a Beach Break Wrestling Ricochet,
Hell no.
I would have thought you'd seen that on that same website that said LA Knight left WWE.
John's Facebook page.
Okay.
It's one that he reads and thinks is real.
Again,
What the heck
no, wait.
is wrong,
Let me.
man?
I want to say this was a good angle. I don't want to say I didn't like the segment. It was a very good
I
angle.
still like Zach Allen.
But no, just no. Now, you had some really fun wrestling on this show. You had an 8-man with the Outrunners, AR Fox, and Bandito against the Don
And now
Callis
we're
family.
exciting.
It ended exactly the way you would think with AR Fox getting pinned again. But this was a lot of fun. You had a really fun match with Speedball and Dralistico.
Which is
two. Again, really good. Speedball's great.
Yes.
Great
listen,
signing by
give
TK.
that
Do we
guy-
all agree? Excellent signing by TK.
Yes.
That guy's outstanding.
I want Speedball to be the TNT champion, cause that is what's it? Wait, who has the TNT championship right now? Cole. I would much rather have Speedball be the TNT champion.
See, I would rather see him and Knight be the ones to beat. If anybody's gonna beat
I want
the Hurt
Speedball to be the
Syndicate,
single star.
now
I want Speedball to be a better version of what Will Ospreay does. Not saying
That doesn't
wrestling
exist.
wise, but like
that person does not exist in the
no, but,
world.
like, lead the company into the future.
Well,
Like him with those people like Josh Alexander. Cause listen, I think isn't
Josh
Alexander
like old?
Speedball pretty young? Like he's like 20.
yeah. How old?
Yes.
All right, how old is Speedball Mike Bailey? That's a good question.
He's married, I know.
He's 34.
Okay,
He's
not.
him with people like
he's
Nick
still
Wayne,
relatively young. He's not
Kevin
Nick Wayne
Knight.
young or Kevin Knight young. Look,
Josh Alexander.
You're
those
good-
like
Darby.
Allen.
Darby Allin.
If he
Those
survives-
guys, MJF.
Josh
Sammy Guevara.
Alexander is 37.
No, but those
Yeah.
guys
well, he's been around a long time. That
are
doesn't
gonna be
mean-
like what AEW
look.
should be.
Somebody is
a
going.
mix of talent
Sooner or later,
who are crazy.
some babyface tag team is going. And I know you're going to say you want it to be the Outrunners, so I acknowledge that
God
right in
bless
front.
America.
Yes.
I know. But if it's not going to be the Outrunners, and they already did get a title shot and lose, let it be Speedball and Kevin Knight that beats the Outrunners. I mean, that beats the Hurt
What's
Syndicate.
it called? Jet Speed?
Let Jet Speed be the
Terrible
ones.
name.
You know,
Terrible name.
I would be fine with that
Pentagon.
because look,
It's like the
you're going to
Paragon.
need an opponent for them. But at the same time, we don't know where this thing is going.
I
With
have a
Friedman.
question. What does the Paragon mean? And can anybody tell me?
It's
The
just a
shape?
bad name.
A
Now,
definition of a Paragon.
Like a shape.
last thing,
Oh boy.
because this might have been this was some of the best stuff of the week.
I
We've got to
love
talk
this.
about FTR. So on Dynamite, Shivani's at the announce table, and the three of them come out, and Stokely begins to get in Shivani's face again.
Sure, buddy.
He was upset that Shivani had referred to him as a snake in the grass.
Because he is.
Oh, Stokely, yeah.
No,
And one
no,
of
I'm
them,
talking about
one of them,
I'm talking about Shivani.
I forget which. One of the guys from FTR said, "Tell Nigel we will see him on Saturday."
I'm talking about Shivani. I'm talking about Shivani.
Oh, Shivani's a snake in the grass.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No one who worked in WCW isn't a snake in the grass.
Everybody that worked for WCW is a snake in the grass.
No, not
Hold
the
up.
wrestlers, just the people in the back, the higher ups and commentary.
He
team.
was a commentator. He
Yeah.
wasn't. He wasn't part of the booking
commentary
team.
Are snake in the grass.
Look, that company had no shortage of snakes in the grass. Believe me,
Yo, man, you got
Terry.
something to say?
Let's name Terry,
Scott
Kevin
Hall.
Nash,
Scott Hall.
Bischoff,
Whoa.
Vince Russo.
I'm done over there.
What?
You know.
Disrespect the late great.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
Hey,
Scott Hall
yo.
never booked the
Hey, yo.
promotion.
What kind of like a toothpick? Like
Now,
throw it at somebody like.
so one of the FTR guys said, "Tell Nigel we'll see him on Saturday." So the main event of Collision was Daniel Garcia against
I remember
Dax.
FTR. No, they marketed it
as a member of FTR, which turned out to be Dax. This was really good. Dax got busted open. At one point, Wheeler tried to interfere, but Daddy Magic ran down. They fought to the back. At one point, I don't think I've ever seen this before. Garcia did a version of the Three Amigos when all three of them were superplexes.
Yeah.
Again, that was a new one for me. They ended up brawling out into the crowd. They are by the announce table. Dax had gotten the better of it at this point, so he sees Nigel. Gets in Nigel's face, knocks the headset off. Nigel starts to explain he's not a wrestler anymore. He says he's retired. Quote, like your hair did back in, and then Dax shoved him. Nigel is then furious. The crowd is going absolutely insane for Nigel at this point. Dax and Garcia are now back in the ring. Shivani said, telling Nigel, no, Nigel, sit down. You're a commentator. Don't do this. Nope. Nigel runs to the ring. Wheeler comes back down. He tries to make the save. Nigel lays out both of them. Then Menard comes back, clotheslines Wheeler outside the ring. The ref throws it out. This was great.
Probably gonna be.
This was great. So I don't know.
A trios or tag match down the road.
Yeah, I don't know. Where do you think they're going with this? I mean,
It's probably gonna be a tag match between Nigel and Garcia against FTR, or
wait, but
Daddy Magic, Wheeler,
But wait.
FTR, and Nigel.
But wait, aren't you gonna? But wait, you're gonna have to get Copeland back at some point to get his revenge.
But that's gonna be later.
So I mean, look, it's only 2 months away. So do you think it's possible that we're going to see at all, like in Arlington, Nigel and Copeland against FTR?
No, it's gonna be Garcia involved too.
Yeah, I mean, but they're this was excellent. Those this was that. So yeah, a lot of good, even with a lot of geeks, Ron Killings, John Cena, Jamie Hayter, Top Flight, and all three of those guys that tried to stop Ricochet from getting to Zach Gowen. There was a lot of good stuff this week. And this week we got a big show. We got Beach Break.
Yeah. Oh wait, speaking of Beach Break,
Yes.
we had the return of Sky Blue.
We had the turn Sky Blue.
Like nobody cares in a 4-way
Bless you.
with
An eliminator.
the third woman. But we're getting
This should be good. They're going to do another 4-way eliminator match with Tony, Sky Blue, Mina Shirakawa, and the return of Azumi
Eliminator for what?
the woman
for a shot at Tony.
Why is Tony in it?
If you beat
Well,
Tony.
that's just it. I mean, the champion's all if it's an eliminator, the champion is in it, although she does not have to get beaten.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if they, I don't know if we've seen this before, but if they wanted to do a Tony Storm versus Azumi match, great.
I want Tony Storm against We Want Mina.
Totally fine with that. Oh, no, I guess she's never wrestled Mina either. That would work.
No, she has.
Has she?
Yeah.
No, she hasn't.
There was a big
No.
storyline between Mariah
I
May
know, but
trying to
never
choose
wrestled.
between.
Right. Oh, that's right. You're right. That did happen. But
No,
if
but now
they,
it's going to be a tag.
but if
team,
they
I
want,
think,
if they
of,
wanted to do Tony Storm against Azumi, I would be totally
I
fine
think
with
it's
that.
going to be a team of Tony and Mina.
Eh?
We want like some. Weird
Oh,
team.
wait. So now you see Tony Storm ending up teaming with Mina, who was at one time. Well, oh wait. Well, at the
Mariah.
end, Mariah turned on her. Mariah did turn on her towards the end, so I guess that would make some degree of sense. Anything else today before we wrap it up?
Nor.
No.
In that case, thank you as always, Producer Roman. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will see you next week with the post-Beach Break edition of Grappling with the Gilmans. That's a wrap.
Peace.
Peace.